Welcome to our podcast, You're Entitled to Our Opinion, where we delve into the Christian life, the Bible, and pretty much anything that's happening in the world today.
But more than just our opinion, we want to share truth that just might change your life.
Now, we don't claim to have all the answers, but we know who does. And our goal is to give him a chance to make a difference in your life.
I'm Jay Scribner.
And I'm Tom Johnson.
And you are entitled to our opinion.
All right,
You sure did.
Jay. We got to start with yours. What in the world is IAK?
That stands for I am confused.
All right, we know that K confuses, starts with a C. Why
Well,
do you put K?
Because you don't know how confused I am.
That's hilarious.
And you, on the other hand, that's exactly what you've done. You have opened a can of worms.
We have opened a can of worms.
Oh, yeah. Join me. Bring me in with it, too.
Well, there you go. Yeah. These are for sale starting next December for Christmas. No, not really. But
I think that's great. I love that.
We had a little fun. You know, AI can do a lot.
You told me you created that label yourself. That's
well,
good.
I had a little help with AI because the nutritional facts about the can of worms, it's 99% baloney. And the warning is no recipe needed. Serve at room temperature. Added heat may ruin the flavor. And when it comes to opening up a can of worms, you got to keep it cool. Oh,
that's good.
Well, friends, welcome back. We're just so thankful that you joined us here on You're Entitled to Our Opinion. We have more fun than we should have, but we do want to get to the sharing our heart, what God puts on our heart, and be able to encourage you in your walk with the Lord, maybe reveal some things you haven't thought of. The whole idea is for Jesus Christ to be glorified and for his people to be joined together in love, in unity, and in wisdom as the Holy Spirit leads us. So that's my sermon for the day.
That's pretty good. And that is what our goal is. We really do appreciate you joining us. Mm-hmm. Pass the word. Share and whatever else you do technically, but let other people know.
Yep.
We're grateful that more and more people are joining in with us with this.
It's so much
and
fun.
Today, it's because you opened, we opened a can of worms last week.
I threw out the idea a couple of weeks ago about Christian nationalism because I thought I understood what it was. And then last week, by the time we got to the end of the broadcast, I thought, I hope we said something that I said something that was worth something. We did. We shared the truth of our belief as believers in America. But this thing is so deep and so wide that we just want to be able to clarify some things.
I think we've said this before, but it's like picking up a rock in Taney County, Missouri. Because when you pick up one rock, guess what's under it? 3 more.
How do you grow rocks in the Ozarks? Somehow it happens. So we're talking about Christian nationalism, and especially Christians in the political arena. And the one thing that God has called us as we study the Sermon on the Mount, we're to be salt and we're to be light.
Sure.
We add flavor and we add illumination. And it's not just our opinions, like we say, but it is. We want to share the truth of God's word so that we as believers will stand and understand when they throw terms at us like, well, Christian nationalism. What really is it? And I'm going to throw it out right now. It's this wide. You can't even see my fingers on the camera. It depends on your point of view and where your perspective, where you're coming from. And so you define nationalism first. And I thought your definition was really, really good. Let's start there.
Yeah. And I just took a simple approach.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom, you've hung around me long enough to know whatever I do is a simple approach. That's just who I am and what I am.
I love it.
So here's nationalism. And the definition, just by Googling and saying, what's the definition of nationalism? Pretty concise. I like it. It says this: support for one's own nation, its interests, values, and ideologies, to the exclusion or detriment of the support of other nations. That's put a tidy little bow on that.
Okay.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Now, I went ahead, since the topic happens to be Christian nationalism, I've added this.
Okay.
And that is, my worldview, my focus, and my motivation is empowered by my Christian faith, character, and relationship with my Redeemer God as established through the revelation of His Word. Now, you put those two together, and as far as I'm concerned, that's my definition of Christian nationalism.
Okay.
I'll be unapologetic about that. And in light of my definition platform, I'll claim to be a Christian nationalist.
Okay.
There you go.
Now I am gonna poke the bear a little bit on this, because there's one phrase in your nationalism definition that talked about the exclusion of others.
Yes, it says, yes, to the exclusion or detriment of the support of other nations.
Yeah. And so in that way, and just correct me if I'm wrong, our attitude in our nationalism is we need to focus on our home first. God has put us here, not in Japan, not in Germany, whatever. God has put us in America for such a time as this, that we are to live our lives in such a way that we promote and we illuminate the truths of God's Word and a Christian life for this nation. But also, don't we want that to go beyond our shores and affect the rest of the world instead of to the detriment of the rest of the world?
I'll buy into that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'm seeing this, the definition that I threw out, I'm seeing this from a standpoint of Christian nationalism puts America first and foremost. That's probably a good way to summarize that. But I'll go along with what you're saying.
Okay.
Because we don't, from a Christian standpoint, I don't want to be detrimental.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to kind of rub that area just a little bit, because there is a difference between patriotism and nationalism. And this is where I think maybe there's an amalgamation of your definition. Patriotism is defined as a motivation by love. Nationalism is more motivated by a separatism. And that's why that last phrase, to the detriment of others, and this is where I'm clarifying in my own mind the definition of nationalism and patriotism. I think we're saying, and we are saying the same thing. We want our nation to prosper as a godly nation, so that godliness, godly prosperity, and I hate the word prosperity because of the negative connotations that it can have. But if we are blessed, what does the verse say in the Old Testament? Blessed is a nation who the Lord is,
God is the Lord.
Is their Lord. And so as this nation prospers, we have in the past been able to bless other nations. How much money do we send overseas? But more than that, how many missionaries have gone into the world from America because God has blessed this nation?
You know, I'm convinced, Tom, that one of the key reasons God has blessed our nation is because we have been an evangelical outreach through our nation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think so many times America has been used for God's eternal purpose,
Mm-hmm.
which is an amazing thing as far as I'm concerned, that God has blessed our nation in such a way. Our nation has been founded upon biblical principles, Judeo-Christian principles, and consequently, I think that's been a real key factor in the development of our nation over 250 years, that America has been the foremost evangelical outreach to the entire world. Mm-hmm. Only eternity is going to reveal how many people nationwide, worldwide have come to Jesus Christ because of American evangelicalism.
Yep. So, great. So now we know where we stand. There is a whole political and social society that is way to the left, what we consider left, that look at this Christian nationalism not the way you see it, but they have a definition of it that is, let me just
elaborate on that. And you're exactly right.
Yes. The key elements from a far left perspective is that Christian nationalism is defined as a political ideology and cultural framework merging American identity with a specific conservative Christian identity. It seeks to privilege Christian principles in law and public life, often promoting white supremacy. We hear that so much. And threatening democratic norms. Critics view it as a push for dominance, not piety, endangering religious freedom for all. Now, here are the key elements: political ideology and not faith, exclusive identity. It suggests real Americans are Christians who hold specific political beliefs. Theocratic tendencies. It promotes that belief that America is a Christian nation, and they see that from the negative point, founded as one, and the government should actively preserve the status. A threat to democracy, and this is the big one. Critics argue it determines sexual democracy by seeking to impose sectarian laws such as restricting LGBTQ rights, limiting abortion, and dismantling the separation of church and state. And the last one is a dominionistic, goals. It aims to establish Christian dominion over all aspects of American society, including its laws and institutions. That's from the left, and they are looking at that.
The far left.
The far left.
Concerned.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even some to the left. I was looking up. I mean, I've got pages of notes here, left and right. The Kittering Foundation. They are all of this think tank people, these scholars and all this other stuff. They not only had the 5 threats, they had a whole page of it. And so this is a mentality, though, that we are not a Christian nation. We are a secular nation. And the rights of all people should be honored. And so it throws, and it's interesting because all the rights should be honored except for the Christians.
Yes. And I'll tell you what, that comes to the surface quickly when you get in discussions like we're having here, and especially from a political, on the political arena, the downplaying and actually demoralizing of Christianity comes to the forefront. And even some of the things you just elaborated on right then would suggest that, would imply that. And so, Tom, I take it from a perspective that, first of all, I think when you study the history of our founding documents and our founding fathers, and just the history of the founding of the United States of America, I don't think you can separate out the fact that this nation was in fact founded and grounded upon Judeo-Christian principles.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are we a Christian nation? No, we've gotten far from it as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
But you go back to the basic history of the founding of our nation. Yes, we were founded upon biblical principles and upon Judeo-Christian principles.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've gotten far away from that. And the flip side of that coin is, because of the rights that have been given to us through our founding documents,
Mm-hmm.
I'll stand with people that I totally disagree with. I'll stand with them
Mm-hmm.
in order to help ensure their rights as well. But make no mistake about it, I'm coming at my nationalism
Mm-hmm.
purely from a Christian perspective,
Mm-hmm.
because that's who I am, that's who I want to be, and that's who I have discovered that we find good success by following biblical principles.
Mm-hmm. Well, you talk about back in our founding fathers. I found this the other day, and this flag actually was flown outside of Supreme Court Justice Alito's office.
If it's who I think it is.
Appeal to heaven.
I used to be flying that flag on my flagpole until about a year ago, when it mysteriously disappeared.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had you want to elaborate on that particular flag?
I'd be glad to.
Yeah,
It was really kind of cool because it's had a resurgence, especially back in January 6, 2021. That flag was carried when the people were there at the Capitol. And but here's just a little history.
Yes.
It's Appeal to Heaven, or it's called the Pine Tree Flag. It's a Revolutionary Era banner symbolizing the right to revolution against tyranny, commissioned by none other than George Washington in 1775. It features a green tree on a white field, reflecting John Locke's philosophy that when earthly justice fails, people may appeal to God. And so it actually got John Locke's second treatise goes back to 1689. So this has been around quite a while.
One of the first flags ever to fly in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I had run across that same thing.
Is it? Yeah.
And I bought the flag. I bought a flag.
Yeah.
And I put it right under the American flag. I've had a flagpole in my front yard for the last 3 or 4 houses.
Okay.
That we've owned. So for years, I fly the American flag.
Good. Yeah.
I put that flag, and one morning I walked out. It was gone. I have no idea what happened to it, but it no longer exists at my house.
Well, now I know what you get you for your birthday.
There you go. Yes, I appreciate that.
I mean, this flag right here, it actually flew over. It was commissioned by Washington, and the first ships of the American Navy flew this flag, and was used by Massachusetts Navy vessels. And it's a traditional symbol of New England, symbolizing resilience and freedom. But now, why your flag no longer exists there on your flagpole is the whole anti-Christian nationalism in the politics. The flag has been adopted by conservative Christian groups and far-right movements to represent a push for a more faith-based government. And so when the far left sees that flag, it's thumb your nose at them. It's and they see it as an attack toward their freedom of or from religion. And But it's the whole thing. We have seen such a degradation of morals in the laws that have been passed that this appeal to heaven really is probably should become our battle cry right now. God, do something.
Yeah, that's good. So when you get me another flag, I think I'll put the flag up, and just to give people a warning, I think I'll get a field camera to see if it remains.
If it remains.
All right, let me read 2 or 3 paragraphs here. On April the 19th, 1775.
Okay.
April 19th, 1775. British troops, some 800 strong, were dispatched to Concord, Massachusetts, to arrest Sam Adams and John Hancock, and to seize a cache of weapons known to be stored at Concord. When Dr. Joseph Warren sent Paul Revere to warn Pastor Jonas Clark, in whose home Adams and Hancock were staying, that the Crown's troops were on their way to arrest the 2 men and seize the guns at Concord, he alerted his male congregants, about 60 to 70 men from the Church of Lexington, stood armed on Lexington Green awaiting the redcoats. Upon spotting the citizen militia, a British officer demanded the men throw down their arms. They refused, and the British troops immediately opened fire. 8 of the Minutemen were instantly killed. The colonists returned fire in self-defense, and the shot was fired that was heard round the world. By the time the troops arrived at the Concord Bridge, just a few miles away, hundreds of colonists were waiting for them with muskets in hand. And the rest, as they say, is history. Now, one more observation regarding the Battle of Lexington, which opened America's war for independence. Not only was attempted gun confiscation the match that ignited the war, it was the pastor of the Church of Lexington and members of his congregation who were the Minutemen of Lexington Green. And that's another fact most historians conveniently leave out of the story. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting background here. So does Christianity, does church, do pastors, do followers of Christ play any part in the founding and the freedoms of our nation? You better believe it. And I encourage pastors, I have for decades, take a stand, become political, do it in a Christ-like manner.
Yes.
But don't back down, and take a stand for right and righteousness.
And we're not going to stand on the street corner with guns. We want to stand on the street corner with the Word. We want to share that Word that does transform. We can pass all the laws we want to, but how does that change hearts?
Listen, we win people by the gospel, not by the enactment of laws. And we talked last week about the fact, I pointed out that I've gone to city council a number of times, and I've helped to educate people by saying that every law that's ever been passed in all of history is in fact the enactment of somebody's morality. But again, I want to emphasize, Tom, that we win people by the gospel, not by how many laws we can enact.
Right.
That's not the thing. So let me make I realize we've still got 3 or 4 minutes, but...
Yeah. Well, I got something else I want to share,
all right,
so go ahead.
Well, just let me point out that I'm not promoting lawlessness.
Good.
Or being an outlaw. The reality is, Christian nationalism really is governed, from my perspective, by law. Because God has written His laws on the tablets of our hearts as Christians. And so we want to live that out, but we want to do it in such a way that, from my perspective, will promote nationalism. Because blessed is the nation, as you said earlier, whose God is the Lord. I want to be a blessed nation. We are a blessed nation.
Yep.
But we do that within the confines of following after God's laws.
That's good. That's good. Well, one more thing, as I was studying on this, I was very interested to see all of the different perspectives on nationalism. And you've probably heard this, folks, and Jay and I were talking about it earlier. Have you heard about the straw man argument? And let me explain that as we get close to the end, because if we're going to stand politically as believers, we are going to be attacked by people who disagree with us. Some of them will call themselves Christians, some may not. But let me explain the straw man article, because I think it will help equip us to be able to articulate what we want to say and not be intimidated by what other people say.
That's strong right there, you just said.
A straw man argument is a logical fallacy where someone represents, exaggerates, or fabricates an opponent's argument to make it easier to attack. Instead of engaging with actual, more nuanced position, they knock down a distorted, weaker version. And so when the far left talk about Christian nationalism, what they are going to do is distort it. That's why I brought up earlier, everybody to the left of center, when they look at Christian nationalism, they call it white supremacy. They throw that in. And that is one of those, igniting phrases that gets people's ire up. When it comes to, I'm not a white supremacist. But everybody to the left, they use that term to be able to come against people that are believers. And when they say, well, they're a Christian nationalist, they must be racist, and they might be white, must be all of this stuff. And so when you hear people talking about it, we need to identify what our terms mean. And so when somebody says this Christian nationalism is what do you mean by that? And when you start to tear apart what they're saying, you'll find out there's a straw man argument in there almost every time.
That's a good perspective.
And here's an example of it. We should invest more in public education. Great argument, right? Something very important.
Should be.
Okay, so the other person says, so you want to leave our country defenseless by cutting all military spending? That's not what I said. But they throw that at you so that it hopefully undermines your position and makes you sound weaker, so that then they can overpower it. So believers, we need to be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. Stand for the truth, but stand. And this is the one thing in these days we need to stand for truth like never before.
God's word says that righteousness exalts a nation, builds a nation up. But sin brings reproach to any people. Well, let me summarize where I am.
Okay.
And that is this: we must not make a God out of government, but the government of God must be our first and supreme allegiance.
That's good.
That's a good summary statement.
Yep.
From this guy that wears the button IAK. Tom, this has been good. Thanks so much.
Yes.
For your input, for research, for helping to put this together. I enjoy the dialogue with you every week.
It's good.
And I sure hope that you're blessed and challenged and inspired. Go to the Word and go to God. Appreciate you joining us every week, because
you're entitled to our opinion. Friends, you can contact us at yourentitled777@gmail.com. Also on Facebook.com, You're Entitled to Our Opinion. Jay's video blog, Here's Hope America, can be found on Facebook.com, Here's Hope America. Tom's blog, Durf Nerfle's Thought of the Day, you can find at Facebook.com/Durf Nerfle's TOTD, but also you can sign up to receive it by email on the website durfnerfle.us. Share our opinion. As with all podcasts, you, our listeners, are the way people join us as you share the podcast with them. You're Entitled to Our Opinion has been recorded at Flat Frog Studio, Hollister, Missouri.